This is to make the curry here. Right, first of all we've got in the pan the onions. In the onions you want 575 grams, which is about seven small onions. And you've got a pepper, red pepper in there. 100 grams of that, which is roughly half of a pepper. Then carrots wise, 225 grams of carrots, which works out at about 2 carrots, 2 big carrots, 2.5 medium carrots, 3 small carrots. Also we've got then tomatoes, which is just a normal tin of plum tomatoes, about half a tin in there, which works out at about 200 grams. Spices, which are all set out on the plate over here. These are going to be going in a sec. You've got 1 teaspoon of garlic, half a teaspoon of ginger, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 1.5 teaspoons of Garam Masala, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of Fenugreek Leaves, 1 teaspoon of Cumin, 1 teaspoon of Coriander powder, and 1 tablespoon, which is that one, of fresh coriander. That's what we've got so far. Also you're going to want to use then some tomato puree, which is 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. I'm going to show you now. I'm going to get it all set up, then I'll carry on. Now we've got 100 millilitres of oil now, which is going to go on. Ignore what I said just before. You only want 1 tablespoon of puree. You don't want 2, just the 1. So you're going to get the gas going. Yeah. Just pour the oil on. That's 100 millilitres of oil. Then just give it a quick stir around just to make sure that everything's covered. You're going to be doing this for about 3 minutes, yeah? Make sure that everything is soaked in oil.
How much water?
1.5. And when everything's soaked in oil then, you're going to put 1.5 litres of water in, which is what the camera woman's filling up now. So I'm just going to stop the video now for 3 minutes. Right, that's been about 3 minutes now. Now we've got 1 litre of water here, which is basically a jug full, 1000 mils. Then we're going to get another 500 mils. Which is that. Straight in. And you want to whack your heat up high now, yeah? You want to get this to the boil. We've got this quite up high now. In a minute, I'm going to leave it warm up a little bit, give it a little stir, and we're going to put the spices in. Stop. Right, that's been about 2 minutes have passed now. It's still getting warm, it's not at the boil yet, but now it's come to the stage where we can add the spices. Just shove your spices in. Get some there. Yeah. Everything's in. Then give it a little stir to get it all mixed in. Next thing to go in then is the 200 grams of tomatoes, yeah, which is half a tin of tomatoes. They'll be going in a couple of minutes. There it is, all mixed in nice. All the bits you can see floating around is the onions and fenugreek leaves, and the coriander leaf. Right, next thing now is tomatoes. That's 200 grams of tomatoes straight into the pan. Half a tin. Give that a mix round. Been boiling now for about 6 minutes. Should be starting to bubble away in there. The next thing now, the only thing you've got left to add is 1 tablespoon of tomato puree. Should be going in a sec. There, 1 tablespoon of tomato puree, kind of like that. Just going to let it warm up a bit before we shove it in. In. That's the tomato puree in. Give it another mix round. Start to go a bit more red now, the water. Not too red. Now that's like that, we're going to leave it on full heat on the gas until it starts to boil. Then when it boils, you want to pop the lid on. Make sure it's got a hole in it. I'll leave it slightly off centre. And leave it for an hour. We'll come back when it's boiling. It's been left a couple of minutes now. About 6 minutes it took to boil. But now, as you can see, we're boiling. So the next step now is turn the gas down right to the lowest heat. Just a small flame there, and leave it for an hour. So we'll be back at about 1750. But now we're going to make sure you pop your lid on, yeah? Please pop your lid on. And when that's done, I'll see you in an hour. 1 hour has now passed, and that's been boiling away on the low heat for an hour. We have a quick look now. There it is. The next stage of this now is to turn it into a madras. That's not a madras yet. Not a proper curry yet. What you're going to want to do is get a blender, which we've got there, blend that down to like a liquid. It should be like a thick soup. Not too thick, I'll show you what it should look like when we've done it. Then after that then we've got some spices here. And these spices are fenugreek, which is 1 teaspoon, 1 heaped teaspoon of chilli powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of a special mix. I'm going to give you the ingredients of the special now. To make that special mix, you want to get a bag, and inside that bag you want to put 4 teaspoons of Madras curry powder, mild one, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Mix it all together, then you want 1 tablespoon of all that. So you should have 4 things on a plate, that mix, yeah? A mix of all of them. When you've got that, you then want to get 1 tablespoon of garlic and 1 tablespoon of ginger. And there, yeah? When you've got that, you're ready to turn it into a madras. But first, before you do that, you want to blend that. So that's what we're going to do now. I'll come back to you when it's ready. Right, that's all blended. I'll give you an idea of what the texture should be like now. Kind of like that. It's not too thick, not too runny. If you think that it's not like that when you finish, just add water to it, doesn't matter. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit of water myself. Because it does, as all the steam's going up, that is obviously water, that was in it, that's no longer in it. But it can do with a little run that water down sometimes. You don't need too much, just I was going to be adding about this much water, which is hardly anything, about 75 mils. We can give it a little stir. When you've got that far, that's the base now. You need to do this before you carry on. You need to have this, yeah, because this is just a base now before you turn it into a curry that you eat at work. But that's done. Now the next thing to prepare is what you've just seen, all them spices. If you're having chicken in it, cut your chicken up. You want to put 4 tablespoons or 1 chef spoon into a pan of oil, which we're going to do now. We've got 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil. What we're going to do now is add the first ingredients, which is garlic and ginger. So we're going to put the garlic and ginger into the pan. You're not going to cook these really, you don't want to burn them, you just want to get them like golden brown. They've all started, yeah. We'll put the gas up a little bit just to get it going. You get these to like a golden browny colour. I'll tell you in the middle of the video at what point you put your chicken in, yeah? Because obviously you're not wanting chicken, you're having the sauce, you're not going to really see. Another thing I'm going to have to show you now while that's frying away slowly. In there you've got 2 tablespoons of puree, tomato puree mixed with water. It's up to about here on the cup, here, with the water. Out there, mixed with water. The sort of texture you'll see in a sec when I pour it in. Not too thick, not too runny, a bit thicker than a soup. To be honest, it's not really that important, the thickness of it. Let them frying away. Stop the video a sec. Right, they're starting to turn golden brown now, so the next thing you want to pop in is your tomato puree mixed with water. Get it all mixed in nicely. Gas now is about half, yeah? Not too big, not too small. Gonna keep these frying away and turn it up a little bit. Yeah. Right, keep that frying away for a minute. Next thing going in is your spices, yeah? I'm just going to go through your spices again while you have a look. Here's your spices. Fenugreek special mix, which you've seen the ingredients of before. You've also got 1.5 teaspoons of chilli powder, half a teaspoon of salt. And that's what's going in next. So, give it a mix. Ready to have your spices. They're going in now. Okay. Spices are in. We'll give these a mix now. You want to try and get them covered as quick as possible before you burn them, yeah? They're covered now. I'm going to put the heat up a little bit. Not quite on full white yet. Next thing that's gone in is that base that you had before. You want to have 300 millilitres of it available. You're only going to put half of it in, about 150. Yeah? That's over there. And now we're going to put roughly half of that in. You don't need to measure it out, you just get an idea. Half of this jug in, about 150, should be about there. Right, big mix. Next thing you're adding, coriander. You never put too much coriander in. Don't need to measure it out. I'm going to give you an idea of what I've been putting in yours, so you'll have an idea. You're going to put 2 batches of coriander in. First one's going to look somewhat similar to that. Right, give that a mix. This is the stage now. If you're having meat, put your chicken in. Yeah? We're just making a sauce for you, so you don't need the chicken. First batch of coriander's in. Remember now, put your chicken in if you're having chicken. And at the end, you want to leave it cooking a bit longer. Take pieces of chicken out of the set to make sure it's cooked. Next stage now, rest of that sauce. That's the other 150 gone in the pan. That would have been poured nicely over the chicken if you have the chicken in. This is just the sauce. Give that a nice mix. You'll know when it's mixed, so they'll all go even the colour. Heat's on full now. On the gas, keep it up to the top. Keep it going round. Next stage now is add a bit more coriander, similar to before. In the pan. Give that another good mix. This is it, to be honest now. That's your curry made. If you want to add more coriander, you can. I might give you a pop more at the end. That's it now. Leave it cooking for a couple of minutes like that. So that's why it's so important, that big pan that we made before. You must make that before you do this, yeah? Or you're not going to get the colour. And that thing, you want to serve it in 300 millilitres at a time with the ingredients you've just seen. And once you've made them, you can freeze them. You can freeze that pan. You can get freezer bags, 79p on bargain for 12. 8 for 8. 79p on bargain for 8. So that's it now. You don't want to overdo it. Just look at the clock now. We're on 14. Yeah, we're going to take it to about 16 when you're done. Turn it down a little bit. This is the time where you'd have it on the maximum if you had chicken. Obviously you've not got chicken, so it's not really a big deal. You're just going to leave that there cooking away, and we can open the door to let a bit of fresh air in. Good. And that'll be it. Leave it frying away on the bottom. serve. Right, that's done. Yeah. And that's how you make my personal madras. Now let's serve it up. This is actually yours, this. I'm going to bring it into work tomorrow. Or yesterday, for you. You ready? So you get your tray. You pour it in. Then, keep focusing on it. And there you go. There's your madras. Thanks for watching. Hope you master it. See you later, Curtly.